Night hung like a shroud over the forgotten village of Viridian. Thick fog, a damp and icy blanket, embraced the wooden houses with their dark windows. A sepulchral silence, broken only by the distant howl of a forgotten animal. In the most isolated cabin, where cobwebs wove their own legacy, Master Elias, the village dentist, fought sleep. His thick, calloused fingers examined a metal instrument that seemed to have witnessed eras of agony. A subtle scrape at the door, a sound easily lost in the depths of the night. Elias raised his head, his tired eyes peering into the darkness that spilled through the crack in the door. It was too late for visitors. The door creaked open slowly, as if reluctant to reveal its secret. A tall, thin figure emerged in the dim light, cloaked in a garment that seemed to absorb the scant moonbeams. The visitor spoke not, their eyes were black holes that seemed to pierce the soul. It was a presence that emanated an unnatural chill, a harbinger of doom. Elias felt a shiver run down his spine. Something in the figure's unsettling serenity was more terrifying than any cry of pain he had ever heard in his profession. Without a sound, the figure extended a pale, skeletal hand, fingers long and thin as needles. In its palm rested an object Elias had never seen. It was a tooth, but of a kind that belonged to no earthly creature. Dark and polished, it seemed to pulse with contained energy, a fragment of a materialized nightmare. The figure gave a subtle nod, indicating Elias's makeshift dental chair. The request was silent, but undeniable. Hesitantly, Elias picked up his heaviest pliers. The cold metal against his sweaty skin felt like an unreal comfort in the face of the imminent threat. The strange tooth, a profane intrusion, was placed in the visitor's mouth. A wet, unpleasant sound echoed, followed by a crunch that made Elias's bones ache in empathy. The visitor's expression remained impassive, but a subtle shadow flickered across their empty eyes. Something was changing, something ancient and terrible was awakening. Elias noticed something more sinister occurring. The very air seemed denser, imbued with an acrid odor of disturbed earth and rusted metal. It was the smell of oblivion. The alien tooth began to merge with the visitor's flesh, fusing in a repulsive manner. A macabre transformation, a profane fusion. New points began to sprout, forming a dental arch that defied human anatomy. A mouth that opened to swallow darkness itself. A low moan escaped the visitor's lips, a guttural sound that devolved into a primitive growl. The creature was being born, fueled by pain and profane intervention. Elias recoiled, paralyzing dread lodged in his chest. He was no dentist, he was an unwitting executioner, an opener of the abyss. The figure, now an indistinct mass of sharp teeth and claws, turned towards Elias. What were once empty eyes now burned with insatiable hunger. The sound of tearing flesh echoed in the cabin, a stifled scream quickly swallowed by a crescendo of cracks and growls. The creature, now imposing and horrific, bathed in Elias's essence. A new form, forged in darkness and pain, ready to spread. Through the broken window, a weak beam of moonlight illuminated a fragment of metal. A fallen tooth, a silent reminder of the profane pact Elias sealed that night. The next morning, the fog remained. Viridian's houses still seemed asleep, but a new, sinister whisper hung in the air. A harbinger of Tooth's shadow.